Hey guys, Misha here. I've recently climbed to GM5 on JunkerQueen only, and I'd like to make a VOD review of my 2 recent comp games by which I got GM. Here are some screenshots showing my stats from this season. This video is made to showcase my own thought process while playing JunkerQueen. Don't take this as a serious guide to JQ. There are many guides and unranked to GM or even unranked to champion challenges made by players much better and more knowledgeable about the game than me. This video is here to give you a perspective from someone who in 99% of games is not in VC and 2 doesn't play a lot of competitive in Overwatch. So if you do play Overwatch 2 competitively, you are in VC and you have similar or better stats than me, then you are more capable of climbing to higher ranks on JunkerQueen and tank in general. And with that out of the way, let's get to the VODs. Since Kiriko is the only character on my team comp that can reliably follow up to my close range brawl and engages, my general playstyle here is to play slowly, focus on Gracie pulls on enemy squishies and avoid close range combat with enemy tank. Normally, I'll go take the stairs on the left side and go high ground, but now that I see they have a Mauga, I'd rather just push the point. My plan here was to jump from top of the payload to the left side window and go for the carnage on the Mauga to potentially force his cardiac overdrive, but I'm gonna get distracted by enemy Zen and Ash on the right side, which forces me to still play on the payload. My Kiri gets picked off by enemy Mei, so I decide to go back to spawn and regroup with my team. I don't want to get poked out from main by enemy Zen or Ash, so I decide to fight in this room on the right side to potentially force Mei's cooldowns with my Gracie. Even though I managed to force her cryo freeze with the help of my Hanzo, I can't go in yet because of her wall. My Kiri gets picked off again, so I decide to go back, and then I'm gonna try taking left side stairs and taking the high ground, since enemy Mauga and Mei are holding low ground. Chasing Mauga here was a mistake. Instead, I should have kept pushing point and then go for a Gracie on enemy Ash. My team killed the enemy Mauga, but that doesn't mean I can push because of the open space and them having a way stronger poke. Another mistake. I decide to push the point while we have space and my Zen keeps pushing in front of me. I don't want to risk the potential of Mei walling me off if I held close, so I decide to play a bit passive and keep pushing the point. Honestly, I have no idea what happened here. My initial plan was to simply back off and kite their ultimates, but when I heard my Kiriko use her Kitsune, I decided to push in, which wasn't ideal because, as you can see, I have 34 HP, but I decided to fight anyway. Don't do plays like this. Like, no matter if you're the JunkerQueen that pushes in with 30 HP or you're the Kiriko that uses Kitsune inside of their team, just please don't. Please don't. I'm using Shout here for my Junkrat to follow up on the Mei, but he's about to back up, so I'm gonna back up as well. Now I'm about to throw my Gracie at the Zarya's bubble, so that when the first bubble expires, the Gracie falls on the Zarya, and no matter if she uses her second bubble or not, I'm about to pull her off the high ground. Similarly to the situation before capping the first checkpoint when my team killed the Mauga, I'm also not gonna push just because of the open space and their ability to simply poke me out. Now for defense on Shambali first point, I always like to hold these two windows on the right side since they give me the most advantages. The list is shown on the screen since I don't wanna waste time naming them. Normally, I'd have dropped already, but because of the lack of pressure from my DPS on enemy Ramatra and my Widow getting killed, I decided to play slowly just to keep everybody else alive. I used Shout here primarily for my Zen, to quickly hide behind cover after he wakes up, instead of using it for my self-sustain. Now that the cart is pushed past its first corner, I'm gonna hold this corner next to this room on the left side. And this is the funny part. I'm about to do the rollout that sends me over the roof to enemy spawn. There are a few reasons and excuses to why I'm doing this. It's 51 seconds left for them to push the point, and I knew they had already used Blizzard and Orbit, and my team had Transcendence and my Kiri was close to farming her Kitsune for this last teamfight, so both teams would still have an even ult economy. I hoped for spawn killing the Widow or Juno since they had got the longest respawn time. And in the worst case scenario, we just have to hold the second point for 2.5 minutes and my team already had the time advantage on the third point, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal. In general, I don't recommend doing rollouts, especially in ranked, unless you're certain you can kill at least one person or force a panic ult from someone on the enemy team. It's too risky, and the Season 9 ult cost plus the tank passive ult generation changes make them even less worth. It's not like they were meant to be viable at any point, just saying in case somebody watching this would misunderstand the whole concept of pulling out rollouts on JunkerQueen. Now let's just see how it goes. So, what happened here? I managed to kill the Kiri after the rollout, and then I die miserably. But even though I died for the Kiri kill, now the enemy team has a decision to make. Do they push in without Kiri and her Kitsune, or do they wait for the Kiri to come back and then they push with very little time to touch the point? Look how late the Kiri arrives. Look how my team managed to already kill the Chuno at the time the enemy Kiri came back and used her Kitsune. It was just too late for them. Do I mean by this that the rollout carried the fight? No. What I mean by this is that I took the risk of trading with enemy Kiriko so that my team could have the advantage for the last fight. And now on to the next game. My Ashe gets picked off, which gives the enemy team a huge advantage, and I should have backed off to the pillar beside the point, but stayed on the corner, which loses us the first team fight. I mustn't let Diana to land an anti on me, so I'm playing safely on point to wait for them to push my team first. My Ashe swapped to Cassidy as a counter for Doom, which makes our team's poke even weaker, so we are going left side to avoid their Ana and Ashe. I like going to the right side of this point because this position gives me wider view of the area around the point and better chance on landing Gracie on enemies. This time I'm holding here to get a better lineup for my ult. Lucio's beat has just run out, so it was the best moment to ult for easy kills, especially on the Ana. My plan here was to wait for the Doomfist to engage onto point or my backline, so then I could flank easily onto his backline, but now that he swapped Orisa, I had to go back to the point and hope for surviving until overtime. Alright, so thank you guys for watching, whether you skipped to this part or not. If you think that was helpful to any of you, leave a like, comment, or I don't know, don't forget about the stuff I talked about. If you got any questions about my gameplay, future content, etc., the comment section is still open. If you're a hater and you think this gameplay was bad for someone to reach GM and I got carried by my teammates, I don't care. If I'm bad, I'm at least not bad enough to enable actually good players to climb even higher in ranks. Anyways, love you, bye!